Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How's everyone doing today? Happy Monday. Guess what, guys? Now the weekend is going to go by just that much faster because we lost the hour. I didn't realize that we had lost the hour because I didn't realize that the time changed this weekend. But thank God that our cell phones automatically update the time because I would have been late for work this morning, because I don't watch a lot of news only to get the weather. And excuse me, that's all I do it for because I don't like all that other negative stuff. I mean, I do watch maybe 5 minutes of it so I can know what's going on, but for the most part, I just look at it to find out what the weather was. And when I went out this morning, it had snowed last night. It was weird because it didn't feel that cold and it was snow and, not a whole lot of it, but, weird. But anyway, the time change was like, oh no, we're losing an hour. So I got to get used to that. And I actually thought it was at the end of March and not this weekend that just passed. But anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope everything is well. Guess what, guys? I finally got some rest because I work a lot, like I said. And one of the things I want to talk about before getting into the topic of discussion today is about um, as I start, how I talk about healing and how it's important to find some ways to heal, like music. In a comic category, how many of you guys play the piano? Talk to me in a comment because I want to hear. Because that's a therapeutic way. I don't really play that well. I know how to play two songs that was taught to me by my sister's ex-boyfriend who loved music. He's no longer here, rest his soul. But he taught me how to play two songs. And sometimes I still play around with that. I wish I know the entire song, but the piano, guys, I'm telling you, is so therapeutic. Especially, I have a song book, a book with, you know, to learn more how to play and stuff like that. And when I'm just feeling a certain way, I just start messing around with that, and it uplifts me, elevates my mood. Because Saturday, guys, was the anniversary. Well, no, not the anniversary. Saturday was my mom's birthday, and she passed away in 2020 during the shutdown. And it was just hard. And, I dedicated to something to her on Facebook to talk about that it was her birthday this past Saturday. And, it just is still hard, even though it's 4 years later, it's still hard. And, guys, next month, April 15th, is the day that she passed away in 2020. And that's going to be a hard day as well. So I try to keep myself busy with things. And Saturday was a hard day, and I just didn't do much of anything. But, I'm feeling better. I did get a lot of rest because last week was like I was all over the place with work and some things I had to do. Now, the other thing I want to say, guys, is that when you start to feel better, as you start to heal, and like I said, everybody heal at their own pace and start to feel better. So don't rush the process. Just do things that make you feel good. Bubble baths, getting your nails done, getting a manicure, getting a massage, your hair done, things that make you feel good about yourself and uplift your spirit, a new kind of makeup, a nice dress, a nice blouse, all these things, like I said, piano I talked about first because that is soothing. It changes my mood after probably 15 minutes of just playing around with it. And music that you love, a playlist of music and have it going back to back to back. If you have pets, go take them out, spend some time with them. They help also with your mood and things like that. All these things are going to help you in the long run. It may seem slow at first, but I promise you, because I've done all of them, and it does help. One of the things I'm proud of is that I got a goal accomplished on my list last week, and I was really not feeling like getting this done. But it's important because as we get older, and I'm talking to women and men, because men watch me too. As we get older, we really have to pay attention to our physical and mental health so that it doesn't decline. And if we're busy taking care of someone else and subservient to them and everything else that people around us want, we can neglect our own physical and mental health. And this is why I keep emphasizing the importance of making yourself a priority. Because one of the things, and I'll talk about it a little bit, is getting back to the gym, because that's important. Because, as we get older, we get these aches and pains. And when we don't work out, or take care of ourselves, and it doesn't necessarily have to be workout. So I'm going to talk from my own perspective about myself. And then you start to get these like feelings of lethargicness, just being lethargic, not having enough energy, feeling weighed down. And I changed my entire way that I eat now. There's things on there, more vegetables, more salads, more water, you know, even like I was never one for soda too much. This is going to sound weird, but the only time that I would have soda is when I go to a movie theater. I don't know. That's the only time I crave it. But I wasn't really a soda person, but I like cranberry juice and I drink that. And now I drink a lot of different teas, teas for immune system to boost your immune system, you know. And oh, I don't have it here. I wanted to show you guys something, but I'll just tell you about it. Sea moss, if you get gummy sea moss, because those things, it takes care of your health and it lifts you up, give you energy and things like that. Those things work and it's all natural. One of the things I don't like is a medication, because with medications that the doctor give you, a lot of times those medications have side effects. And I remember when my mom was here, she had certain things going on, and she would complain that the doctor would give her a medication, and then she have all these different side effects. So now they got to give her another medication for the side effects, and I really don't like that. So I'm all natural stuff like teas and things that boost your immune system and things that help you. Because I had some thyroid issues going on. I still do, but it's getting better because I found some natural stuff to help. It took a little time, and as you can see, because I had some stuff going on with my throat, and it's getting better, and it's going to get better and better as I do this. Because what the doctor wanted to give was a medication that um, had some side effects that I didn't like, and it could affect me while I'm at work, and I didn't want any of that stuff. So, like I said, we all have something. The important thing, people, is to take care of it right away. I was talking to a guy earlier when I was in a store, and we were talking about diabetes. And I'm going to say this before I get into the topic of discussion, because this, what I'm talking about, may help you or other people who are listening. He was telling me that his mom is a diabetic. And we talked about that because I have issues like with my weight going up and down due to a thyroid. And I found something to help tremendously without any medication or any of that. I'm going to do a separate video about that. That won't be today. But I'm so happy about that because there's natural things that you can take that's not expensive that help you. So I told him, and I'm going to share. Well, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not. I told him about some vegetable that she can take. And I was telling them because I was borderline diabetic, but I'm just going to share what I do. You know, broccoli. Broccoli will help with that. I mean, in my case, I'm just going to speak from because I'm not a doctor and I don't want to give people advice and it doesn't work for them. So I'm going to speak from my own perspective. And I was eating that because I had some situation with the weight up and down, and I'm still fighting on this as well. But the broccoli helped a lot. Eating that on a regular basis, and I would just cook it, boil it, and just eat it. I don't put anything on it. Just eat it with my dinner. And as I continue to do that, all those other problems I had, and I went back to the doctor again. There's none of that. There's no diabetes or any of that stuff. I was borderline and all of that, and they wanted to know what I did, but I don't really want to share that with them because you know how they are. And, it's like everything is a money making business, and I don't really like medicines because I had surgery in 2019. And when I woke up from surgery, I was in so much pain. They gave me morphine. I felt like one of those walking zombies. I don't like the feeling of any of that stuff. And I was angry afterward, but they had to give me something, right? And I don't like meds. So I try to do all natural stuff, and I'm feeling really better because of it. And guys, I'm going to tell you this before we get into the topic of discussion. Walmart sells a lot of these things I'm talking about. You can go and buy a whole um, thing of broccoli and just boil it. Eat that with your dinner. It's going to help with the blood sugar. It helped me with my blood sugar and things like that. Just changing the way I eat. I used to eat a lot of fried chicken, a lot of mac and cheese that I know how to make from scratch, and all the stuff that tastes so damn good. Biscuits and I can't eat like that anymore. So what I do is get creative with it. I'll bake some chicken, you know, and then put some broccoli in there, and then I may have one biscuit instead of three, four, five, like I used to. But these things help me to feel better, and I'm talking to men and women because as we get older, we can't eat like we used to when we were a teenager, etc. So that's something to keep in mind. Making goals, on what you want to accomplish. And because I got one of those goals accomplished this week was to get back to the gym. I didn't think I could do it, but it was important, and I did. Oh, it was just difficult, but I accomplished getting that done, signing up for that, because that's important to me. Even if I spend a half an hour there, or 15 minutes, then I'm done, and just start slow. So when you get on this journey to heal, you're going to start to self-love, and self-love, you automatically want to self-care on yourself. And that's important. So the topic of discussion today is do not stop investing in your healing. Make your healing a priority. Regardless of everything that's going around, all around you, you are important. It's important to invest in you, because if you don't and you neglect yourself to be subservient to other people and situations and etc., and you put those things as a priority, then you start to, with your health and things going on with your physical and mental health starts to slide. And you don't want that. You always want to make yourself a priority, because as you do that, people, then you can take care of everyone and everything around you, all the other things. But if you're lethargic and not feeling well because you're neglecting health and etc., then you're no good to yourself or anybody else. So please keep that in mind. It's always important. And you're not being selfish by doing this. It's important to take care of you so that you can be here. And I know how important that is, because this is what I'm doing now. And I start to feel better. It took time because I was going back and forth with things. And you might do the same thing in the beginning, but it's important to keep going. Um, Here's something that I'm going to talk about that I detest. And it's like someone who, if they don't want to do the work, that's on them, and that's okay. But when they don't want to do the work and they don't want to see you do the work to heal, and they trying to stop you from healing by, doing things in the background or trying to distract you so that you can fall off your path. Those things I can't stand, because if you don't want to do, if somebody doesn't want to do the work to heal, that's on them, that's their choice in the matter. But don't try to stop me from healing because you don't like that I'm on this path and journey. And one of the things I was talking to someone earlier is just about when people don't like people. We live in a big world, and some of us are going to find people that we love and care about, and they make us laugh. And then there's other people we just can't stand, we don't like. And that's, and that's okay, because we're not going to like, we're humans, we're not going to like everybody. However, when someone go as far as trying to set up someone because they just don't like them, Oh, I don't like her hair. I don't like how she speaks. I don't like how she walks. I don't like that she believes in God. I don't like that she has a relationship with God. I don't like. And they don't have to like it, but when they go as far as trying to play God in your life to try to set you up for failure, do things to make your life difficult, and to try to knock you and get you off the healing path because they don't like you. No one has a right to play God in your life. Please keep that in mind. No one has a right to play God in your life but God Himself. And God give us a choice. He doesn't sit and try to horse whip us into submission. And when a person like that, when I see individuals like that, I know that they're in a lot of pain and they need to do a lot of work to start healing. And if they don't, then the toxicity will build. And what I do, because I had people like that around me, and a few in particular was stepping on the accelerator of trying to do things, set me up for failure, making false reports, lying, being deceptive. I mean, they were doing the most and the worst. And so, therefore, I had to cut off, block, and delete. If restraining orders is necessary, so be it, whatever, because I am not getting off this path to heal. And if just because someone don't want to see my light shine bright, oh, we're going to dim her light, we're going to do this and that, I'm going to cut off, block, and delete. I don't want anything to do with toxicity because all those things are toxic. If they don't want to do it, that's their option. We all have a choice, but don't try to knock me down because I want to heal and I want to be better. That to me, I detest a lot. And when someone doesn't want to take care of themselves, they're too lazy to go out and to earn a living to take care of themselves. Not because they can't. I'm not talking about situations like that. I'm talking about people who just don't want to. They're moochers and slackers, and they want to take from somebody else's plate. They don't want to eat out of their own plate and build their own plate up. They want to eat and take from somebody else. That I cut off, block, and delete, because those are the type of individuals that I had in my life before I decided to get on this path to heal. And they were draining my energy, making me lethargic, keeping me in that toxicity. And as I did the work with my therapist, and I started to make a pro and con list, I started to see the cons were outweighing the pros, and I had to establish boundaries. And as I set those boundaries, these people started to feel some kind of way about it, get attitudes and whatever. And I would have conversations about it. Boundaries are established, and they kept crossing the boundaries, crossing them. And I kept emphasizing. And then after the second or third time of that, because we're supposed to be adults, right? What I would do is just cut off, block, and delete. And then they really start to feel some kind of way, but that's not my problem. Um, a person who does not have any control over their own life and they're trying to control my life, how can you control my life when you don't even have control over your own life? And, everything I do in prayer with God, and I ask God to navigate this ship, and this is how I do everything. And what I do, I keep moving forward, even when I don't feel like it, because sometimes with me, it would be the procrastination thing that I would do a lot, overthinking and not getting stuff done. Now I just say this got to be done, and it has to be done within a certain time frame. Just let me do it. Just do it. Get it over with. And it's starting to work, step by step, little by little, you know. And what I start to realize with doing therapy and doing the work that my therapist give me, because I still do therapy once a week, is that some of these people are codependent because they don't want to work, because they don't want to take care of themselves. They want somebody else to do the work, and they want to benefit from the abundance of it. And I had to see this for what it was. they don't want to work. They want to be taken care of by somebody else. And I'm not taking care of anyone but a dog and myself, um, because that's not my place to take care of somebody else. We all have to take care of ourselves. And that's what step one is, doing the work. And I always talk about therapy because that's the starting point. And then everything else will start to fall together into place, and I didn't realize that because none of this stuff comes with a instruction book, right? We have to figure these things out. So as I started doing therapy, as I started doing work, I started to find creative ways to help myself to get through things. And then all the pieces, like you have a box of pieces of a puzzle, you don't see the picture yet until you started doing the work of putting the puzzle together piece by piece by piece. Then you start to see a picture there, maybe of a lake, animal or something, and you go, oh, I know what this is. And that's what it started to click as I started to do the work. um and like I always say, if someone doesn't like me, that's okay, because there are people out there I don't like, but I'm not in the background trying to set them up, trying to hurt them, trying to do all types of toxic things, because I'm not on the toxic train anymore. And I've never been that kind of person, even though I was different, but I wasn't that kind of person ever. But I'm not on the toxicity train. I'm on the train about healing. And that's so important to heal and keep on going and not to give up on myself, because if I give up on myself, what do I have? And it's important, people, to learn as you start this, what is to love yourself, because as you start to love yourself and as you do the work, the work is not easy. You just take it one day at a time. There's going to be up days and there's going to be days where you don't feel so good. Allow yourself to feel the pain, and then the next day get right back on the train and keep going, because as you persevere, bite, and chew through all of this, you're going to start seeing results, even though the results may be slow. um and okay, this is what I want to talk about too. Therapy. I'm not a social worker. I don't have a license or a degree in social work or being a therapist. I do have a degree, but not in that category. I'm someone who's speaking from my own personal experiences of dealing with a lot of grief, a lot of loss, a lot of pain, a lot of just trauma and things of that sort, and addressing these matters. Because if we don't address it, because where the family I come from, what happens in his house stays in his house. Then nobody heals. You don't heal the inner child. You don't heal the trauma and the grief. It just grows more and more inside you and turns toxic. And we have to have an outlet for the pain. And speaking to a therapist is step one. We don't have a manual of instructions on how to do this, but the first starting point for me was therapy, because as I learned to talk out these things, it was an outlet. And then cry, do what you have to. Crying is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, because you're getting rid of the pain. And then you start to look at yourself and why your inner child is hurting and in pain and a trauma that's been inflicted on you, throughout your life. You have to heal those things. And the other thing, I had to hold myself accountability for allowing narcissistic individuals in my life and the parts that I played and contributed to situations that happened in my life. And then as I did that, ask God to forgive me and help me, and then I move on. Not to keep resentment and bitterness because somebody did something to me from the past. Yeah, I acknowledge it and what it is, and then I transmute that anger and pain and whatever, and give that to God and say, God, this is a load, a burden I can't carry. I'm lifting this up to you and giving it to you so that I can redirect my focus on myself and take care of my healing and my health, my physical and mental health, which is everything. Um, with people like this, who are in toxicity and like drama and negativity, there's no compromising with people like this. All I could do is set boundaries, establish them, And when they kept crossing them, I had no choice but to close and padlock the door, cut off, block, and delete. Also, God sees it all. What I do too, I am very close to God. I stay in prayer. I'm not religious people, but I have a deep relationship with God, and He helps me. Because as I said in prior videos, I had to do all this stuff by myself. I didn't have a support system. I had a therapist, but you only talk to them once a week. So throughout the week, if other stuff was going on, I was on my own. I had to give it to God and trust Him. But what I realized as I was doing the work, and as I still do work, but it's not as difficult as it was then in the beginning, that God comes through. If I take a step, God is right there. And I see what He's done because He's showing me miracles and things that He's there. Like something happened on Friday that I was shocked, like, wow, but because I'm really working hard and I'm taking care of myself. And there's some distractions that come into play, but I get redirected, focus right back to the mental and physical healing that, I need to do. And I stay on point when it comes to showing up to see my therapist. Things happen every now and again because this is life, but I stay true to what I'm doing. And, and that's important. And as I do, and I take a step, even if it's half a step, God is right there. I make it a point to do something. And sometimes, the next day we can't do anything, and that's okay. The day after, get up right back on that train and keep moving, because we're going to fall. We're not going to, it's just like when you get to ride a bike, you don't just get on and say, hey guys, I'm riding this bike. You're going to fall a few times, maybe, and then a few more times before you actually get on that bike and ride. And that's how it is with the healing process. Just to move forward and just keep going and bite through. And then all of a sudden you start to see changes, positive ones. Then you take another step. Oh, wow, look at what's happening, and make a goal list for yourself of the things that you want to accomplish, and just take a step at a time. There's no rush, don't rush the process. Let it fall into place based on, how you're healing. So that's the message. I have notes, sometimes so that I can cover certain things when I'm on here with you guys. But that's the message today, and I hope this is uplifting someone. What I do, I stay in prayer with God, always asking Him to help me, because everybody's not going to be happy for you when you make a decision to get on the bandwagon to heal your mental and physical health. But sometimes you just need to be alone, to do things for yourself that's therapeutic to help you to feel better, and do things for yourself. And sometimes, and then you can interact with others. But it's important to put yourself first, especially when you've gone through a lot of grief due to loss and pain, and due to toxic relationships that you had to leave behind, and trauma and all of that. And all these things, as you start to address these things in therapy, you start to realize that you do matter. And at that point, you start to self-love, and then self-care come in. Never stop loving yourself, and never allow anyone to tell you that you shouldn't love yourself, because that's the starting point of healing. That's the message today. Please also Google a therapist in your area, no matter where you live, and find a therapist that you vibe with and start there. And all the other pieces of the puzzle will start to be put together. You will start putting it together as you start to do the work, and then a picture you will see, one day at a time, one step at a time. Nothing venture is nothing gain. That is the message today. I have learned to turn pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help other people, being, a blessing to other people, because people need to be uplifted, because the world we live in today is spending mostly on misery. So please share this video with others. I can't promise, as I always say on this channel, what time I'm going to show up. So please hit that subscribe button, and then you will always get a notification when I'm on, so that you can come in and join me. Leave me some comments in a category, the comment category, to let me know what you think of these videos, and keep sharing it with other people who need to hear the message. You guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. This is Lisa, always shedding love and light. Bye for now.